think the people that can share the most insight on this topic Is your job going away in the next 15 years? I don't know. But if you stay tuned and listen, you'll find out. Hello everyone. Hope you're having a wonderful day. It is just marvelous out here today. Taking advantage of all the great weather as much as I can. Was on the internet this morning. Very surprising, right? I mean, I'm never on there. But it was one of those rare occasions where I happened to be looking at stories on the internet, and I saw a very interesting one. It actually was a story about a giant newspaper shutting down, and it's one of the last of the 3 large newspaper corporations that used to exist in this country, and it was a sad story about how it's shutting down. And that got me to thinking, you know, things have changed so much in the last 15 years, not even that long ago. And the job situation, even though they tell you, building, progressing, there's actually a large number of jobs that are going away for good. And it's kind of scary because they're the type of jobs that common everyday people do. So not everybody can go to college. It's a privilege type thing. It costs a lot of money here in America, in most countries. Not everybody's suited for college, all right? Not everybody's Einstein. I surely wasn't. It took me a long time to come into mine. In the beginning, I could care less about school. I really find it unfair that people at 18 need to make a decision for their entire life. Anyway, that's a whole nother video. Got me to thinking about technology and when it turns on you and goes away, how your entire world can change. I mean, let's think about it. Newspapers were the only and #1 trusted source of information in most countries. You got your news from a newspaper. Then radio came along, and even then, radio wasn't trusted as much as newspapers, but radio became a media where you got your news, right? And that was the advancement. But things got even better because we all know then came TV. And TV anchormen and faces you could trust. And you started getting and consuming all of your media, now called media, from television. And it really put a knife in the back of radio, right? So right there is just a little caption of how technology works. It's like I tell everybody, they're afraid of autonomous cars. But, there was a time where the horse was it, the end-all, tell-all of transportation, right? Everyone had a horse. No one was selling their horse. They didn't care about this fad car thing and how long it would last. Putting gas in. No way. Horse is going to be better always. Well, we all know that's my favorite analogy. No one rides a horse for transportation anymore, right? I don't even care what country you're in. Car, scooter, electric something, always going to be #1. That being what we're discussing today, it got me to thinking, if in such a short period of time, and I guess it seems like a long period of time when you talk about the difference between a horse and an autonomous car, things have changed just so super much. What's going to happen? What's going to change in the next 15 years? By 3030, what's this planet and world going to be like? I mean, looking outside of the eco things that we always discuss, I'm talking about, things like manufacturing, things like jobs. Technology is a wonderful thing, but it's also a very evil mistress. Rini absolutely hates it. She's one of them people that would still be riding a horse if you let her. But my point is, what will we see go away, and how is it going to hurt us? I really don't think it's going to help us. And we already learned that the whole thing about, well, they'll be retrained to do whatever is new, that never happened, man. People from my generation suffered that. When I went to school, there was no more manufacturing and there was no new technology. We were stuck somewhere in between. I call my generation the lost generation. And so we've always had to play catch up because some of us embraced old technology and worked in fields that disappeared and are having a really hard time making it. And some of us embraced the new technology, but didn't do well because it wasn't really settled in yet, and they didn't know what they're going to do with it. So, you know, they embraced a lot of wrong things that went away in technology. Some of us chose to go get re-educated and go back to staple professions that always would pay. But not everybody had those opportunities. So think about it. Right off the top of your head. I mean, jobs like a cashier. That's going away. They're showing you that's going away. Every time you go to a self-serve line or an autonomous store where you just scan your items, that is another peg in the coffin for the cashier. Their days are severely numbered. They really think that in the next 10 years, the job of cashier will disappear. And I mean, we already see autonomous cars, right? So Uber, yellow cab, any kind of metered taxi, tick, tick, tick on your clock, man. I would say, let that be one of the questions today. What time frame do you see all this technology really going away? Because I see in the next 5 years autonomous cars just blowing up and services like Uber and yellow cab going to autonomous cars. So the driver is going to be removed. In the next 5 years, people will be very comfortable with autonomous cars. They're getting there already. So, I mean, cashiers, bank tellers. I mean, how often do you go in the bank and talk to a teller? They have rows of kiosks or ATMs. That's where you do your banking now. Or from your phone. I guess I'm old because, you know, ATM, go to the bank. That's crazy. I deposit checks with my phone. So, I mean, bank tellers, cashiers, any large chain stores like Walmart and Amazon, they promote nothing but the autonomous age. Robots, they got people involved to pick up stuff that the robots drop and can't manipulate, but the human element there is going away. There's many stories online already that I read about our good friend Amazon and how you need to be of robot capacity to work for them. The turnover in their warehouse facilities are uber tremendous because you're on a, 200 meter, 400 meter property and you're getting something at meter 1 and they expect you to get to meter 416 seconds to draw another item. They're watching you to see what you do, how you do it, and how a robot will replace you. So it's cool, I guess. Robotics is very cool. And, robots build robots, so we can't say, well, everybody will go into robotics and their replacement job will lie there. They'll just, service and build robots. It's not going to happen. Machinery builds machinery today. The human element's massively minimalized, right? So, I mean, how many other industries are you going to be able to apply this to? There's almost a robot or a conveyor belt or a people mover or a system of transports or drones. That's another thing. Delivery service. We already know snail mail is going away. Package deliveries done by 1 or 2 services. Places like our good friend Amazon are looking to build a drone robot fleet so they don't have to pay you to drop off your Cheerios overnight. A robot will do it. So, I've already seen it impact fields like the trucking industry. Many of my friends, they had to give up driving and go back to school. California has more autonomous trucks than people would like to know about. That's becoming a thing all over the country, and just truck driving in general became an automated system that no human can keep up with. I think the people that can share the most insight on this topic would be those of you who work in fast food and printing, or did work in fast food and printing because their jobs have gone away. I see it in my McDonald's and Burger Kings and Wendy's and you name it. The French fries take care of themselves. The burgers can flip themselves. Things are more conveyor oriented. So if you work in one of those industries, let me know. I mean, I had printer friends. I still have the friend. They no longer are printers. Everything is fed by the client into... Gotta love the traffic this time of day. Everything is fed by the client into a program, tweaked by the client, and then printed by the machines. So, those are industries that are already almost gone and dead. If you serve fast food, you already know there's kiosks to take the money and take the order. They're getting rid of cashiers. Number 1 priority there. Then next in line is if you worked in printing, you know, no one stands at a printing press anymore. It's all high-speed graphics, graphic design. They don't even call it printing. And your job is no longer there. I mean, if anything, you pick up bundles and load papers and ink into machines. But I'm very curious. Let me know, especially if you're in the printing industry. Has automation been the death of you? Did you have a sweet job where you helped design logos and then print things and that long went away? It's all done by a machine now, because I don't see where people will be doing that much longer. Just like I had many friends that used to do tool and die work. They tapped out machine parts. They made robot parts. There's a guy or a couple of guys when there used to be hundreds of guys. And now somebody, you know, loads the IQ machine with the program. Another machine checks the specs. I guess that's where they have a human. The first couple of parts get pumped out. Human eye checks it out and says yes or no. Still examined for QA by another machine. And then the machines take over and roll on. But my friends, where will you be in 2030? Realign yourself if you can. Become an entrepreneur is what I tell many young people. College is a hard pill to swallow. It's very expensive. You need to know your dream. I know my dream at 18. I thought I did. Wasn't even close. Unfair. Totally unfair. You shouldn't have to grow up. You just shouldn't have to know what you got to do for the rest of your life at that point. You still need time to see things and grow. But is your job going away? By 2030, which is less than 15 years away, it's actually 11 years away. Is your job still there? Do you work in one of those industries I mentioned? Because according to all sources, it will not be. But that's what was picking at my brain today. That's what I just had to ask you guys about. But y'all know how we do it. Comment, like, subscribe. I don't see enough of you. I still need a hell of a lot more of you. I love you so much. I just can't get enough. Love you. See y'all tomorrow. And think about that. Is a machine going to steal your job? Are you being replaced by automation? Become an entrepreneur, my friends. Or go back to school. School's great when you're an adult. It's much better than when you were a kid, trust me. See you tomorrow.